Your natural bodily computer is already programmed, pressed, and plugged in by Yuji Krishnamurti. Hello everyone, I have published the series All Call None under the pen name PB Flower. It is available as ebook and paperback on Amazon.com and free to read as ebook with Kindle Unlimited subscription. The genre for this trilogy is sci-fi fantasy romance, and the story is of the time between all and none. It is a third-person past tense narration across 5 parallel timelines. The main character is an engineered being who was made of trainee kernel, taken from the destroyer Holy River and a reptilian species called Serpas. If you do happen to read it, please leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads. You can also tag me on other social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, or collab on YouTube. Links to my author page, my website, and other accounts are on my YouTube channel page. Thank you. Let's get into today's topic now. Virtual world and end of physicality, or separation of body and idea. One cannot be in a natural state and experience the memory by PB Flower, which is me. I have quoted this in my series All Call None. To understand this, the concept of virtual world, or what I mean by today's topic, and, to visualize the future of virtual reality, first let's identify what all is virtual as of today. The number one thing is our social presence is in a lot of sense virtual. Our physical presence at work, so in professional terms, is also somewhat virtual to an extent. Even warehouses have robotics taking care of the inventory, stocking, updating, packaging. Very minimal human intervention is actually there. Amazon was the pioneer in that sense. Many have followed suit after that. Currency has been virtual for a while now. With the introduction of credit cards, we don't essentially see money or feel it or touch it. There even used to be another form. I don't know, it was like a travel voucher that could be used in exchange for money, and if it lost, no charges were accrued by the owner. I don't know, I don't remember which company did that, but I suppose it was American Express. Anyway, and now with the introduction of cryptocurrency, even the other form of exchange is heading towards absolution. Stock market, if you ask me, was the first form of virtual appreciation and depreciation, even before the introduction of credit cards. I mean, who gets this money that you invest in the stock market? Who loses it? Who gets to keep the lost value of stocks? Have you ever looked into it? It is shit crazy and scary and very virtual. Now let's understand blockchain. Blockchain is quite literally shared immutable, which means indisputable or unchangeable ledger that facilitates the process of recording transactions and tracking assets in a business network. So this blockchain is P2P or peer-to-peer system. It's without intermediary, like banks. Whenever you use credit card or you write a check, there is bank involved in it. Example, when you swipe the credit card, your payment is then taken, or you are given the product that you are buying from you, but it is the bank that is sitting in between and saying, yeah, this person can pay, and so they let the transaction through. Now this bank is being removed with blockchain. Cash is from my pocket to yours, as done in person, but quite literally virtually. It is linked with cryptography, which stops third party from reading private messages, and these chains are assigned unique number or cryptographic hash and time-stamped. Each subsequent block has information of the previous block, hence it is chained and linked. Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008 popularized this ledger system and cryptocurrency for that matter. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto is actually a group of people, not one person, and nobody knows who these group of people are. It's still a secret. Why was this created, this blockchain? Well, it was to stop double spending when using the digital currency, because digital currency could be copied and spent twice compared to the paper money, which you can't because, it is not virtual. And so blockchain technology now links everything in the transaction. So there is no scope of double spending or data being manipulated, leaked, link broken, or stolen. And so due to its foolproof nature, this technology can be used in many other things where ledger comes into play. For recording, everything is our obsession. Everything has ledger in it, no matter what you do. That's our obsession. We want to keep a track. And also that we are thieves, we cheat. So we need to keep a track. We need protection. Now, there is another concept called virtual gold. If you play in the stock market, you would know that gold is opposite of where the market is headed, the value of gold in general. So if the market goes down, gold goes up. Now, don't ask me I will not spend another second in this stupidity. You can go ahead and look it up yourself on the internet, that why this trend is there. Now, what is virtual gold and should you invest in it is the question. So virtual gold is actually vaulted gold or investment grade gold bars stored in professional vaults. Vaulted gold provides investors real and outright ownership of gold bullion in combination with the advantages of a modern investment product such as low costs and high liquidity. Now bear in mind that this virtual gold is virtual. Okay, there is no vault where it is being kept. There is no gold bar. There is no physical gold bar that you can touch. So why buy physical gold and not virtual gold? Well, virtual gold cannot be stolen and it can be exchanged for material goods. Still, you don't have to take your actual bar and go and sell it to someone physically. You can't melt it and make jewelries out of it though, but you can cash it and buy jewelry from it, the real gold jewelry. Now let's focus on physical virtuality in human terms, not commodities. It has been theorized in Matrix that bodies are like plugged in and they go virtual. But unlike Matrix, I have theorized in my upcoming book that you actually can give up the body to exist as an idea inside a fake body. So your flaws, genetic diseases, or any other accidents in future does not matter. It doesn't. You do not die ever. Of course, plastic surgery was the beginning of it. People change what they don't like about themselves all the time, but that process is painful and expensive. Recovery time is also still there. So it is not moving the consciousness into a machine like you might have thought that was I was going to, but it is rather slowly turning human body into a mechanized entity. So there will be hybridized humans walking around with parts replaced completely with lab-grown perfect parts. And so one would not know if you are a human being or an appended body with the original idea that makes you. You will still be organic but not natural. Like Frankenstein. Remember Frankenstein, where a scientist resurrected him by joining parts from other dead bodies. So with us, it will be lab grown and revitalized into new inside you. So native intelligence will be suppressed or perhaps gone with that. And you will be artificially intelligent driven machine that looks like humans but is not. Obviously, money would play a big role here. Then more you can afford, the better avatars you can wear. Speaking of avatars, YouTube and other social media builds an avatar for you. No, not the one that you choose for your profile. I'm not talking about that. It's behind, because the avatars that you choose, you could be a ninja warrior online, but a skinny Latin person. I'm talking about, the profiling that they do behind you. So it's a profile of virtual presence of you, and it is based on your habits and online attendance. The AI, or the artificial intelligence behind it, knows exactly what you like and how you think. And before we go all virtual, as detailed in my book, perhaps in human world, it would be movement of virtual presence. And as I said, it has begun with YouTube and Google. It has been there for a while, and it's not surprising considering how we are just like machines. And I have said this in my previous podcast of We Are Computers, or the artificial intelligence podcast. Our thinking is already mechanized. Societal boundaries leaves not much room for individuality. As mentioned in my podcast, we can be bucketed into numbered buckets. That number is finite. It's not hard to predict what we will think and want next, because most of it is online. We browse, we decide, we research online. Very little action occurs outside of the online arena. That's why it is easy for the AI algorithms to track, predict, direct, and evolve when it comes to anyone. Please do not confuse it with predicting what to order, like shopping ads. That is so rudimentary. I'm not talking about that. This is deeper than that. Where the AI already figures out your frequency, because I have said in my series, All Kalnan, that we are all waves. And so there is an autonomous system that runs mirroring patterns just like you, but online, on their server, but it's you, a replication of you as an idea. All this data, these data centers collecting endless data, is probably not to be mined for material benefit at all. Like you think your privacy is being breached, or that you being solicited for product marketing. No, you're grossly mistaken. It's probably for seeding or saving memory that it always has done to be recreated, establishing you as an idea virtually. It is to break the connection between body and that entity, I, you, me, myself, and resurrecting another organically contrived being to function more appropriately. Read my series All Kalnan to see how this being manufactured, my main character, how was he manufactured? Like I said, it's with a trainee kernel, and it was designed in a sack. And then he also goes on to design an army just like that, like himself, an army of native, adaptive, but contrived organic beings. Now this main character is also, like I said, is engineered and is edited heavily in my series before he is born. There is a full chapter in my first book that details the creation of this being, and how it is done in the sack. In the third book, this engineered being reverses some of his traits by editing his dormant traits. Once he's fully grown, even then he does that. And that is what I am predicting will happen in future for humans. I have even theorized in my next book that we will be free of burden of reproducing. That tenet will also be lost or weeded out of us. Rich will be allowed to create a superior progeny in labs. People considered less worthy of taking forward the contrived human genome will be edited to have no sexual desires, no need to reproduce. And I'm not talking about actually having sex, but actually having sex to reproduce. That will be edited out. So I hope you will be reading my upcoming book to see how I have concocted the new sci-fi story around this prediction. So all this virtuality, is it an abomination? I don't suppose so. Because in the end, no matter how virtual we go, we still crave physicality, and appended physicality perhaps, which is more resilient, beautiful, and adaptive, but subservient and predictable nonetheless. As I said in my quote, one cannot be in natural state and experience memory. Therefore, this AI will not let virtual existence go to that point where we are all enlightened. Well, thank you for listening. This is author PB Flower signing off. Bye-bye.